So just to give some background to this, I've been dating my girlfriend, let's call her Gail, for about 4 months. It has been so amazing, and we were already talking about building a future together. We just click on every level. I was genuinely the happiest I've been in years. Her best friends are a couple, let's call them Andy and Alice. They've been together 4 years. Now, when we first started dating, Gail told me that her and Andy had dated for a couple of years 8 years ago. No big deal, she was upfront about it. He seemed like a good guy, so I had no issue. I asked if there had ever been anything between them since then, as you know how these things go, and Gail said no, there's been absolutely nothing, he's just my best friend. So again, all good. Fast forward to the other night, and me and Gail are having a light-hearted conversation around less than good things we may have done in her past. Then she comes out with, worst thing I've done was sleep with Andy behind Alice's back. I was a little bit stunned, given Alice and Andy didn't start dating until 4 years after. At first she said it was just a one-time drunken thing, but I could tell there was more. So after probing, she admitted they'd basically been sleeping together for the entire 8-year period, and she claims only stopped when she met me. It just feels so messed up. Alice has no idea at all. At first Gail was saying she can't understand at all why I'm so upset, as it was in the past and doesn't affect our relationship. I pointed out it does, as now I know, and I have to be complicit in a lie to Alice. Also that Gail has been lying to me about the nature of her relationship with Andy for months. She even said if I asked her to choose, she'd pick her friendship with him. Which hurt, as I didn't even ask. She knows why I'm angry. And has offered to cut ties with them. But I'm really not that guy. I don't want to tell her to do that. It'll only make her miserable long term. So here are my options as I see them. 1. Agree to let Gail cut out Alice and Andy. 2. Just carry on the relationship and become part of the lie to Alice. 3. Encourage Gail to tell Alice the truth, although it may do more harm than good. 4. End the relationship. I was so happy and so excited. Now she just seems like a different person. Update. I've heard what you were saying, and it largely mirrored what the very few friends I spoke to about it had been saying. Sometimes it's just good to get an impartial opinion, though. You'll be pleased to know I have ended things with Gail. She is not a good person, and regardless of whether or not anything happened in the time we were together, I can't date someone who would do what she did to Alice, Andy's girlfriend for those who haven't read, and then pretend to be her friend. How can you ever trust a person like that? Earlier today I had a conversation with Alice, and let her know what I've learned. Turns out she had suspicions about them for a while anyway, so was slightly pleased to know she wasn't just being a jealous psycho, as Andy had called her when she brought up the possibility a while back. She didn't actually sound too sad, more just relieved it had come out. I'm sure it'll hit her though, and I've said I'm here to talk if she wants. I'm sure she has closer friends for that though, and I kind of want to be done. As for Gail, she's not happy and has called me judgmental for not accepting that this is all something in the past, and that if I really liked her we could work through this. I told her this whole thing has made me see her differently, and I honestly think I deserve better. Oh, and Andy has also messaged me calling me a piece of crap who should have respected Gail's privacy. I guess that's how he's trying to come off as the better person here? We have reached the end of the story. Let's listen to some of the comments by our Reddit listeners. Comment 1. Congrats man, you did the right thing. I'd recommend you get tested because there is a good chance Gail didn't stop seeing Andy when she started dating you. Forward that to Alice as well if you haven't already. Comment 2. End the relationship. This is not someone you want to work towards a future with. She lied to her friend for 4 years. She's not honest, or kind, or trustworthy. Her moral compass is seriously skewed. And she only stopped sleeping with him when she met you 4 months ago. And she will start sleeping with him again if you end it. I would tell Alice first. I'm ending my relationship with Gail today because I just learned that she and Andy were still sleeping together until she and I met. I respect you and enjoy being friends, so I thought you deserved the truth. Pathetic ex-fiancée pressures me to take responsibility for a child after she cheated like a 403 and gave me STDs. now refuses to take paternity test. Hello, I'm stuck and could really use advice. I, 31M, recently broke up with my girlfriend, 32F. I loved her, and can honestly say I did everything for her. We were together for around a year. We live on different continents, but whenever I got the chance I went to see her and flew halfway across the world for her. I can work remotely part of the time, so I would just take my laptop and visit her, working and relaxing and enjoying my time with her. But I did have to return home for work regularly, making the relationship a long-distance one. We were making plans to live together. I was taking care of the paperwork so she could come live with me later this year. We were talking about marriage and were open to having a baby together this year or next year. If she would fall pregnant, the baby would be very welcome, especially since we are both at the age we are ready for it. This all crumbled last time I went to visit her. After 1 to 2 weeks being with her, I developed symptoms of an STD, genital herpes, for the first time in my life. Since I thought we were in an exclusive relationship, this sparked suspicion and I investigated. Well, I found out she did cheat on me. Apparently, up until recently, she was also in a long-term relationship with another guy. The other guy didn't know about my existence. So she dated the both of us at the same time, and had eventually decided I was the one she wanted to keep dating. By the time I found out, she had in fact broken up with the other guy after 2 months. But she did definitely meet with him and sleep with him when I was already together with her. So she did cheat on both me and the other guy. But he got dumped quite violently, he was crushed, and she chose me. He never found out she cheated though. But I did. So this girl I loved had cheated on me, cheated on another guy, and had given me herpes. I confronted her, and she initially denied everything. She just kept lying, but I had undeniable evidence, and eventually she did confess to some things. She said the other relationship was not that serious and not going anywhere, and that she had chosen to be with me. Well, I left her. I had been cheated on before by a long-term partner, and it had crushed me. She knew this. She knew how important loyalty and honesty are in a relationship to me. And I told her I have very strong values about only having children when you can offer them a stable home. I would hate having children growing up in a broken home. I just want a loving partner and a happily ever after, without having to feel unsafe in my relationship. Anyhow, she knew I felt very strongly about this. We had a big fight. I told her she should take the morning after pill because we had unprotected sex up until the point I found out she was cheating. I thought we were in a loving and dedicated relationship and a baby was welcome, until I found out I was being cheated on. I told her she had to really prevent getting pregnant in this situation. So I left and flew back home. I wanted nothing to do with her anymore. But she didn't take the morning after pill and 2 weeks later found out she got pregnant. I'm so furious about the way she completely betrayed and crushed my values, that I want honesty and loyalty in a relationship, and that I only want children if I can offer them a stable home and a stable relationship. I'm so extremely angry that she brought a child into this situation. And now she is using the child to try to bind me to her. She expects me to still marry her. She has informed her family and she and her family expect me to take responsibility. Probably they want me to marry her since I got her pregnant. Or at the very least they want me to support her and the children financially. I feel like I cannot trust her. I have seen her true colors, how she lies and manipulates. Her family and friends of course only hear her side of the story. I feel like this relationship was not consensual. If I had known the truth, I would not have been with her. I feel like I was set up and scammed. This is not what I signed up for. I wanted a family with a loving girl, who comes and lives with me, who respects me, and to do our very best to be wonderful parents together. She ruined this. I'm afraid to go back to where she lives. My ex has 7 brothers, and they only know her side of the story. The fact that they expect me to take responsibility is very problematic to me. I think it might not be safe for me to even go back there. I just want this toxic and manipulative woman out of my life. Besides visiting her, I don't have a reason to visit her country. Part of me is still concerned for her well-being. She is in a bad situation financially, having lost her job a couple months ago due to COVID-19. She has very little income and already has a son from a previous relationship. She is a single mother, pregnant with her second child, without income, and the father of her new baby wants nothing to do from her. She has told me she is depressed and doesn't know what to do. She hopes that for the sake of this child, I will still marry her. When I make it clear I don't want to marry her or be with her after what happened, she accuses me of being selfish and not thinking about the future of the child. She is in a really bad situation and is now looking at me for help. I told her she should look for someone else to build a future with if she really wants to marry, and that she should learn from her past behavior and treat a future partner with love and respect. I also really don't know how to feel about this child. Since she is a known cheater, there is a chance it's not mine. But still, it is very likely it is mine, since she did break up with and hadn't seen the other boyfriend since 2 months when she conceived. This is confirmed. But maybe she did have sex with other guys. I do know for a fact she was back on her dating apps the same day I broke up with her, and I was on my way to the airport. I checked. But it's very likely the child is mine due to how frequently we were together during her ovulation window. I know her exact ovulation schedule. As I said, a baby was welcome. I don't see myself co-parenting with this woman. I hate how she betrayed me, how irresponsible she is by becoming pregnant. I hate how she treated me, how she treated her other boyfriend, how she manipulates and lies to everyone to control the story. Also, it costs $1,000 plus and 20 hours air travel to get there, so I have no idea how co-parenting would work. She doesn't have the money for flight tickets anyhow. Also, it might not be safe for me to go there. I also refuse to just serve as an ATM for the next 20 years, while a child of mine is being raised by someone like her. My repulsion for giving her money lies in the fact I was occasionally helping her out financially, and I found out her other boyfriend was doing the same. I found out she asked both of us for money to help her out with her rent and transportation costs at one point. In a way, I feel she was scamming me. And now she wants to scam me for the next 18 years to come, using an innocent baby to accomplish this. Using this baby to pressure me emotionally to take care of her. I have considered if I should fight for full custody if it turns out this child is mine. I'm alone though, working 70 hours a week, have my own company, so I don't know how to take care of a kid without a loving partner by my side. I really didn't want to bring a kid into the world in this situation. I feel conned. I'm extremely stuck. I also don't know what is in the best interest of the child. Why are people this crappy? I'm stuck between wanting to help my ex, since I do feel sorry for her in a way, and her life is a mess, which will greatly affect the children, but at the same time I am furious and want her gone from my life. I'm done with dealing with toxic and misusing people, and I don't want them to force themselves into my life. Still, there is part of me that wants to know she is doing all right. My feelings are continuously shifting between me wanting her and the baby to be all right, and me hating her and wanting her gone from my life. Having the constant herpes flare-ups also don't help and maybe cloud my judgment as they make me resent her. Very tiring. Some concrete advice on how to cope? We have reached the end of the story. Let's listen to some of the comments by our Reddit listeners. Comment 1. Only the paternity test can decide your next step. You had unprotected sex with her, the other partner clearly did too, so you have to assume she doesn't ever use protection. Is the other partner known to have herpes? Weird she would be with him for so long and just catch it at the end. Makes me wonder if there wasn't some third-party action happening. OP reply. It's possible. But frankly, herpes stays with you for life, and you can infect others for life, even if you are asymptomatic. I've become quite knowledgeable since contracting it, unfortunately. Herpes is also something you can contract whilst using protection. It can reside on the skin in the genital area and the thighs, for instance, infecting others through skin-to-skin contact. It is generally not included in standard STD panels either. She could have caught it years ago in theory. Just like I can infect a partner 10 years in the future, now I'm a carrier. Herpes is there to stay. The herpes outbreak made me investigate, and regardless of who she caught it from, and when she caught it, I did in fact find out she was cheating. The cheating could be unrelated to her contracting herpes, no way of knowing. Also, I have no idea if the other guy has it. I don't know him and haven't spoken to him. Comment 2. Don't trust it's your kid until you've had a DNA test done. Support her as much as you're comfortable with. She didn't take the morning after pill. You should have used protection full well knowing she is a single mother and having had cheated on you. OP reply. We were having unprotected sex before I knew she was cheating. When I found out she was cheating, I left her the same day. It's the last time I saw her in real life. Thanks for your response. I did try to support her financially. I sent her enough money for at least a year of living expenses, rent, food, so she can get through her pregnancy all right after having lost her job. I took an advance on my salary to support the woman who crushed and betrays me. It stings, but I still feel some responsibility.